Okay, so I just bought this cool new battery pack, and I made an article quite a bit ago of editing tools that I use on the go. Some people ask me, like, sometimes when I'm like working with them or when I'm editing with them, or I'll oftentimes, a lot of my clients, they come from my page and they ask, like, what do I use to what do I use to edit? What do I use to, like, I don't know, edit, move around? And I feel like I move around pretty frequently. Even when I'm in different cities, I'll still be able to be creative and be creative fast because I've got into like a pace where I know like what tools I need, and I just need my phone. And I've had times before where I need to switch phones, and basically this is just running down what I use on a daily basis or weekly basis of editing tools for staying creative. So number one is Premiere Rush. So video editing is really big. I have sometimes used the iPhone video. That one's fine for easy stuff like cropping and shortening videos and maybe like adding a few adjustments. But if you really want to get into deep like editing with different like timelines and stuff, try out Adobe. Another really big one that I think a lot of people don't use is Canva. They have a free version. Their stuff is pretty limited depending on like what free versions you get, but it's like a Photoshop on your phone. It's super easy, super quick to use. You just need like a Google account or email, and yeah, I use that every now and again, not too much, just because it takes a little bit more time to do, and I'm kind of picky with the designs that I make, so I try not to use that, but it's always there. Lightroom is another useful one. So if you have the Adobe subscription, you get Lightroom, and Lightroom is so good because I can use it on my iPhone, I can use it on my iPad, but it is a phone battery drainer, so it drains your battery super fast if you're editing a lot, which is what I do, so my phone's always dying. As far as productivity, I use the Notes app on Apple. I also use a bunch of different cloud services. So I've got Google Drive, or well, I've got a Google Suite, Microsoft Suite. I use Dropbox, and all those have different drives on them. There's also Apple Drive. It really depends on how fast I want to go, where I'm uploading to, who's going to receive it. All those things I keep in mind. So if somebody's got a Google phone, I know to make sure to use a Google Drive. If people have like an iPhone, I can easily use a Google, iCloud to share photos very fast. Whatever people are on, I usually try and stick with that. Dropbox I use pretty much exclusively just for myself when I'm like transferring files and videos. I should also mention that I'm like a photographer, so this is my profile. I do quite a bit of photos and have had quite a bit of different clients that use a variety of different things, so being flexible is key. Okay, now this one is kind of a lifesaver. It's Lyft, Uber, and I think Grubhub, Lyft, Uber, Grubhub, and DoorDash. So DoorDash is actually really probably my favorite for as far as on the go. So I mean, I can get rides and stuff. Or not with DoorDash. I can get rides with Uber and Lyft, but DoorDash will actually be connected to Target and Best Buy. So there's been multiple times where I've forgotten stuff like camera gear on shoot, and I'm on location and I can't leave. And what do you do in that situation? I've literally ordered cables from Best Buy to the shoot, and I've received them in like less than like 20 minutes. Lifesaver, really big lifesaver. It is expensive, but it's a lifesaver because you're a professional and you want to get stuff done, so that's how you do it. Without having a personal assistant. I mean, if you have a personal assistant, then that's a no-brainer. But if you don't, for that shoot in particular, doing that is the best way. Other things that I use, payment system, like what do you use to pay? I kind of want to condense this down eventually, but I pretty much am on everything. So whatever a client has or whatever a client needs, I accept it because there's just so many things that I'm already set up for that I can take your payment. Just making things like easy And probably the most convenient one is PayPal though, because you can put a credit card in, you can get a PayPal account. But the credit card is probably the easiest there. You can just put in the credit card number in PayPal. Other things that I use pretty frequently are Canon Connect. So I use a camera, and I always connect it really fast whenever I'm moving out of a location. Before I leave, I try and edit the photos as much as possible. If I'm traveling, I will literally do it on the plane, because otherwise I stack up photos, and I don't want to stack up photos. I don't want to edit these when I get home for like 2-3 weeks. I'm gonna edit them now on the plane. That's like a new thing that I've just started doing, and it works every single time. And then I don't have to look at them again. I can just like export them and then share them, which is really helpful. I also use Fiverr pretty often whenever I'm on the go. And I'm usually, sometimes I'm at home, but usually I set up a gig, and people either bid on a gig, like decide to do a gig, or I have people that I've already worked with that can help me out. So anything from like software development, graphic design, video editing, perfecting like an article or something, I have people doing that for me. So that's really helpful. And then the last one that I use is Koder. So Koder it's not a lot of people are going to use this, but it's for HTML development. I code my own website, so I use that all the time. I've my iPad that I use it on, and I have my iPhone that I use it on. And lastly, this new piece of gear that I want to try out. I'm not sure. It worked okay yesterday, but it's got I'll put it on the screen, but it's got a connector here to the iPhone, so it comes on like that. It seems pretty stable, and like if I do this, it's pretty stable. I don't know. I wouldn't trust it for too much, but I turn it on with the back here, and this isn't sponsored in any way. I wish it was, but I'm impatient to wait for those. So it just charges my phone. Hopefully this is going to be helpful, because I always run out of battery when I'm out, because I use it so much, because I don't know. I feel like I communicate with a lot of different people. But yeah, so that's what I use. That's my current notifications. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully you guys learned something. I'll leave everything down in the description. There's also an article link that you can go check out as well.